better about just like
Yeah.
for the first 10 minutes we'll record and then live stream. You know what I mean? Like we could
Oh yeah, we could do that.
that out too.
Because I do like the idea of like having
Oh, by the way, we're live.
like a set day and time that like we live stream every week, because we could advertise that
Yeah.
like live stream every Wednesday at like 10 p.m. or
consistency.
You know, 3:45. Yeah, have that consistency, and maybe that helps like build an audience that's like they know to tune in at like this day at this time, and we're going to be live streaming, and I think that could be appealing, and just kind of gives us a little bit more like professionalism too.
Okay. We are live now, by the way. So.
Oh,
all right.
Good to know.
Well, we are going to be looking into the soul of probably my worst team ever. Not ever, but it's the team I feel just the worst about. And I'm wondering, do you want me to go back? Like, you want to see how this started?
Yeah, let's get a quick little just run down. How do you get a team to where you're feeling this?
Okay.
This bad. I mean, I'm seeing Stroud. I'm seeing Laporta. Like, it can't be that
so
this
bad. This was a startup last season. I'm the commissioner of it.
Oh, okay.
How do I even? Maybe I can go to week 1 and show you just like what we came out of the draft with.
Yeah. Big.
That doesn't even feel right. Why is it showing him not buy?
Yeah, it's kind of bugged. Maybe because he's like free agent or something.
Draft results. Maybe I could do this. Yeah. Nope. That's the rookie draft.
We can do like the exploit where like you go on your phone and you send me the link and then I resend you the link, or you send me the link from your phone to me and then you can click on it in your DMs of on desktop. Like, you remember how we did that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll do that real quick because I have it on my phone.
Yeah, actually,
that'd be the best. But what I do remember from the draft is that I was a little bit more towards like, I guess we'll say win now. I know I've gotten away from being like, oh, I'm all in or I'm full rebuild. Like, I'm trying to be more viewing the quadrants in like productive versus valuable and kind of that sense. So I'm trying to do that.
So did you like come away with any, like, did you send your picks away then if you were like trying to be more aggressive to win?
Truthfully, I can't even remember.
it might show it. Maybe not in the matchups, I guess.
Yeah. But like, I just remember that I was more like win now, had a lot of aging pieces, and then I don't know what happened or what triggered it, but I definitely became more like, oh, I'm tanking, but I didn't really have the value pieces to tank.
Okay.
So now I'm kind of in this like weird, what I would say purgatory, to where so I sent it. Let's see if this will work.
While you're pulling that up, I mean, I have a roster just the exact same. Oh, you got it up? Okay, nice.
Yes, but it's really ugly to look at.
That's all right.
I drafted. Is that me?
That looks like
that's me. Yeah. Oh my god, I can already see why this team went to crap.
Big Justin Fields at 110. There we go.
Oh my god, so wait, Andrew, when was the startup draft?
This was last offseason.
Last offseason. Okay, you're right. Yeah. So I mean, it shows you how much can change in a year.
Yeah.
It's good. I love looking back at like.
So I made a move to trade up to the 1-8. Got Trevor Lawrence. I guess I abandoned some of these pieces.
Which I loved last year at 1-8, like Lawrence.
Yeah, right?
I literally made the exact same trade, and funny enough, it's the team where like I had to blow it up, and I got Trevor Lawrence at like 110.
And I remember being so happy that this guy went Lamar, so I could get Fields and not the other way. It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't keep going back and forth, just like the scrolls at the bottom. So I'm just gonna go down the line, and then we'll see what that happened. So Lawrence Fields, I liked it. At the time, I liked the quarterbacks, young elite, walk away from that. Did get Hawkinson. Tight ends were coming and going. So this is where I was like definitely more leaning towards like older vet, win now, like Hawk, Diggs, McLaurin, Ridley, Hop, like all just like my really core pieces being like old Betty, Dalvin Cook.
And then you're like, let's get a young piece.
This is bizarre.
Oh god.
And then Sky Moore.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
Dude, like Mike Evans at the 11. That's kind of spicy. I like that. I wish I could get that now.
Oh yeah, amazing
and then
value because like his stock was low a year ago.
And like I don't really see my name for many other trades.
Yeah,
You
it's
got Deontay Foreman. Do you still have him?
I might. I think I do.
Oh, nice.
So lots of just like trashy names. So I mean, truthfully, I came out of this draft with like a kind of productive team and not very valuable. So that was not
Yeah.
so basically
best.
the opposite of like your greaseball draft, where like you absolutely
honestly
murdered
where I
every
nailed
pick.
these late rounds. It's like
Yeah.
I came out of here with
I mean, you
really
still had like
nothing.
Ford and like, you know,
Yeah.
Elliott was
And I
good at
mean,
one time, and
there was kickers in this, so we were drafting picks. I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
get any
Yeah.
kickers.
Yeah.
I didn't. I got one down here, probably the 412.
Hope it was Puka.
So that was that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely didn't turn into Puka. So
Nice.
did I even like? I'm even trying to just remember the season. Did I make the playoffs? I don't know. I don't want to like click anything. Okay. So mid-season I decided to like dump everything. I ended up with like the third lowest points for.
Yeah. Dude, this is like exactly the same as how my one really bad team went. Honestly,
had a bad record, so I did end up with 1-3. Okay, so let's get to just where we are now. I don't want to go back anymore. Okay, so here we are now.
Okay. hey, we got CJ Stroud.
We have CJ Stroud. How did we get CJ Stroud? A blockbuster, a massive deal.
Oh my god. Okay.
I wish it had the pick. I think I remember for the most part the picks. So I get Stroud. I get my first back that I had traded probably in that deal to move up for Lawrence in the startup.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe because it was that guy. I don't know exactly. This was like the 112 and this was the 109, so it was like a 109 112 swap or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, actually backwards. I got the 109, he got the 112.
Okay.
Random fourths. I don't
Yeah.
I don't
he
know
got a couple
team 5.
seconds.
Yeah,
back,
just like I got lots of just sprinkles. So then he got the Kyler. This was the 103.
Okay.
And then seconds, lots of seconds, and then that pick swap. So I get Stroud out of it, but did I give away too much? Absolutely. Like these are all pieces that could have helped me be rebuilding. Nothing over here, unless I tear down Stroud, is really going to. So obviously now I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, definitely.
So go down the roster. I have like these productive Walker, Stevenson just don't really fit my team build. So from here down, it gets pretty young. Yeah. Tank Dell, Keon Coleman, who I ended up taking with that 112. Laporta, which I got doing a deal for like Pitts and Reed for Laporta back in March. So, I mean, if Pitts pops off, I probably lose that. If Jaden falls off a cliff, I probably feel okay about it.
Yeah. So what was your thinking at that time in March when you made that trade? Were you still kind of like in contending mode, and so you were thinking like, let me tier up and get like an elite piece like Laporta, or were you?
Truthfully, I think I am and kind of am still in the mindset of just like I'm still trying to not compete, so let's try to just get some like the top tier assets that will outlast a rebuild. Okay. So like the Stroud, the Laporta. Did I get Tank Dell? So he was okay. So Tank Dell was in a deal.
Free. Holy! Oh wait, yeah, you got him for like. Oh no, not free. Goff, sorry, Higgins. I just completely missed over them.
Yeah, getting Goff off my team. This was back in October, so he helped me tank a little bit.
It's probably fair deal.
Funny. I needed to get my first back. Like this was kind of a big move for me to effectively start the tank. Yeah.
So you made that one, like that trade first, and then get your first back, and then
that was probably the domino that got rolling, and I got my boy Mayer.
I had so much Mayer. I did. I got so much Mayer cheap too, and I got screwed on like my.
We talk about Puka being like a late round. My friend Dylan got tank at the 411. Like it's insane. Okay, so keep going down. Just
So you got Burrow hiding at the bottom, which is
I do have Burrow hiding at the bottom.
QB.
Don't have a third QB except for just like if they play, they're valuable. Go down the bench. I do not think we're going to be impressed with that.
Just like Foreman.
Do still have Foreman? Hooray!
Yeah.
Freeman, really nothing to be Brian Hunt about.
Yeah.
Pick wise, again, it's not sexy. I have my picks and I have an extra fourth.
Yeah.
Twice.
Right.
So
we got Sanat
hiding
on Taxi. Okay, so
that's
a good,
I do have
Sanat
hiding in Taxi.
By the way, what's like? I get this is probably just pretty standard, but like, what's tight end premium? That's probably the only thing I want to know here.
1.5.
Oh, okay,
so 0.5 tight end premium. Yep, super flex, 12 team. What is this? Start 10. Yeah.
All right. So number one, you probably made like the opposite moves of like what I would do. But like, I know it's like March though, so like I've made some similar like things where it's like, you know what? I like actually me and Dan made a couple trades where, you know, there's specifically one where it's like, you know, I just didn't need to, you know, like try to invest in that player so early in the off season, and you know it might not be so bad, but.
Like, which one are you talking about?
It's just like I'd rather have Daniels. For like our trade that me and Dan made.
That Kyler trade, yeah.
But yeah, like obviously like Kyler, I'd probably want to just like do that exact trade back to like try to recoup some assets. But
I wish I could.
You know, whatever. You live and learn. You know, it's. I think it's still the core of your team isn't terrible.
The funny thing is, this guy that I traded with, he's a Dynasty, just like he's a nutcase. Like he will message you all day, every day about it.
Yeah.
He is just so adamant that my team is like kind of good, and I'm like, stop telling me it's like kind of good.
It's not like as bad as you made it sound. Like you have the double elite QB. Honestly, I don't know, Dan. Like, what do you think about having two top 5?
I have a vision forward. It's just has been executing. I want to hear what y'all have to say for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like having like 2 elite quarterbacks like that, especially in a league that awards 6 points per passing touchdown. So, I mean, Stroud and Burrow, I mean, that's awesome. So, I mean, that's like a great foundation right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then beyond that, I mean, you got Laporta tight end. I mean, hopefully he's an elite tight end for like a decade. So, like, I definitely don't hate that Laporta trade just because I think that was like, you know, pretty solid value. But the interesting thing you said is that like, you made the trade in kind of like a rebuild mode, and kind of like Blake alluded to, like that's typically the opposite of like the way I would approach a rebuild. Like usually I'm looking to like tear down and like build value, build assets, and like, you know, kind of like hope that like if you were on the other side of that, like let's say you had owned Laporta and you're rebuilding and you trade him away for like Pitts and Jaden Reed. You know, see, to me, like that's the type of move I would look to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that I'm buying Pitts low and that the difference between him and Laporta isn't as much as it maybe it seems right now.
Yeah.
And then I hope I'm getting like a free Jaden Reed who's like a, you know, good, you know,
it's like I feel like he could go either way
for a few years. So, I mean, in terms of like the specifics of that trade on value, I think it was solid.
It's probably even.
It's not the type of move I'm typically looking to do in a rebuild, but I don't hate it for sure. I mean, I love having Laporta. You do have a nice foundation to build around. I also love Tank Dell. So like I think those are like probably like your 4 best pieces, kind of like your foundational pieces that you can build around.
Yeah, that's all I view as like. Or I mean, can I move them? Yes, but that's what I view as like the pillar. And then my path forward, I mean, I see I need to invest, like I need to get out like this running back points off my roster, and I need to get these built out. That's what I feel like my path forward.
Yeah, you said you had like, so you're just envisioning, you know, just like kind of punt this next year and like load up as much value as you can, and then get your cards back in 25. Like, is that how you see it, or how do you like see the team?
That's always my mindset, is like I'd rather retool than just like rebuild.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so I see.
Could he hit? Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I just need to actually shore up a few spots. Yeah, I could see that being likely. Could I see this also just being like a 4th or like an 8th place team this year, and then like
it's
taking a step next year? I don't know if I need to acquire more capital and some younger.
I wouldn't want to like rule out the possibility of like contending and like maybe sneaking into the playoffs, and then you never know what could happen. So I think like the first thing I would be looking to do is like you said, down tier, like, well, not just move those running backs, but maybe like down tiering them would be a good option. Like for instance, I'm thinking of the trade that Blake just made in Group Ball right before this live stream. He traded away Kenneth Walker for Jerome Ford, a 2nd and a 3rd. Like that's exactly the kind of move I would be looking at because like Ford can produce similar numbers as Walker, especially with like,
They actually were like a point per game away from each other last year. And by the way, context, I think it's going to be probably a top 3 to 5 second next year too, which really definitely and third, so that helped. But it was continued down.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think that's perfect because I think Ford could potentially produce similar numbers to Walker, and then you just get a free second and third on top to start building that future value. Mm-hmm. And then if the season starts going better than you expected, and you think, hey, I'm kind of a contender here. Now you can use that second and third that you acquired as on top of Jerome Ford. Yeah. And you can start trading those picks and using them as buying power in season. On the other hand, if the season doesn't go so well, hey, now I'm loaded up with some extra picks for next year. I'm ready to rebuild.
Yeah, maybe you can sell Ford again too. Maybe Ford is popping up. Honestly,
get real nasty.
He was producing very specifically, really similarly to Walker last year. And then honestly, I checked back and I was actually a little surprised how close they were. But that's just a really specific example that I literally just put that trade through. So there's a good idea for that. I like that. I love that suggestion, Dan. The other one is you can definitely. There's nothing wrong with rolling in with what you got. I don't know. I'm just trying to get rid of Judy for anything. Myself.
Oh my god,
dude! I will take anything. He's like.
Oh my god! Look at how this happened too. Dude, every deal has just gone so bad for me. And
oh gosh,
this was last summer.
Yeah. It happens. I'm just getting rid of Judy. Dude, I actually got him for a 209 so luckily in a league one time.
We must have drafted pretty early if that was a deal. I was thinking in July.
Yeah, March. You guys drafted,
yeah.
So I'm just getting Judy off. I just don't even see any upside with him. I don't care how much he got paid. I'm just
3 of 3. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Hey, so let's talk about that. So I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have a Jerry Judy or someone similar stuck on their rosters. Treylon Burks, James Williams. Insert disappointing receiver in his second, third, fourth year, whatever. And you want to get rid of these guys So what kind of trade are you looking to make, Blake, if you got Jerry Judy on your roster right now? What's going to work? Because there aren't a ton of people out there that are dying to trade for Jerry Judy.
Actually, number one,
I will go trade in. I will try to send an offer right now.
I'm just going. Let's look. Who's a player that's perceived under Jerry Judy and you can throw a fourth on top of, but honestly, probably Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Dan and I were mentioning. I would just go get Wan'Dale Robinson, who, by the way, people value. I've always say this. People value Demario Douglas, but Wan'Dale Robinson's just Demario Douglas, but better in every way and fashion of his career, and their profile. So, I just like that Wan'Dale's even cheaper than Demario Douglas.
And Wan'Dale was the second round draft pick.
There he is.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I would just burn Judy into the flames if anything. I don't think there's any upside unless he's
trading on this app is so bad.
Yeah, you might have to
okay, propose a trade.
Okay.
All right, I'm getting there.
So we got. Do you know who owns them?
Yeah, I just looked.
Yeah.
Do I select the owner?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and then
you
next.
gotta select the owner first. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, Judy. You said Wan'Dale.
Yeah. And just throw a fourth or something.
I get a fourth.
Yeah, you get a fourth. I would just do it straight up or fab or something on top. But what do you think, Dan? Do you think that's too much?
Too much. I was thinking. I really don't think many people out there value Wan'Dale. I'm wondering if you can get a third on top of there.
Yeah, try it. Just you might as well. I don't.
And then also before you send it, I always just like to throw a few bucks fab on. And there's some psychological reasons behind that, so I don't know if we want to give away our secrets right here on the live stream. But
here's the one thing I will say on a deal like this, though. Okay. If any remotely likes Wan'Dale, if you throw that extra thing on top to make it a 3-on-1, that might extra turn him off. I know we have our reasons, but when it's turns a 2, I like the fab on top of the 1-for-1 or the fourth. But when you start making a 3-for-1, then it's why am I giving up 3 things for Jerry Judy? You know what I mean? That's why I'm against it on a trade like this.
Yeah,
but send it like this.
Yeah, there are exceptions. I generally like to do that, but I agree with Blake. I think that's a good call.
There just needs to be
times where it looks too much.
Yeah, it just needs to be a 2-for-1 or a better.
That we could make something happen with my roster. It's this has been one that I've thought about.
Higgins.
I don't know. I'm not touching any.
He's holding him tight.
I'm not touching any T. I would just rather aim for Burton much cheaper, but
You're looking for players that would like make sense for you.
Yeah.
Let's take a look back at your roster again, and maybe we can think of some more guys. But like, I love that Wandale. Like, just get Judy off the roster. Like, it's more like psychological. Just get him out there. You don't even have to remember you made that trade.
I don't know if there's much of a market for like these pieces, but like those are the types of moves that I think I just have to kind of rinse and repeat with like anybody with some sort of name value.
Yeah, I'm hanging on
have
Foreman.
Much.
I'm hanging on Foreman for sure.
Well, I think you start with those running backs. Like, I would send out like some tear down trade off.
Let's go for something for K9.
Walker and Stevenson.
Yeah. What like?
Y'all want to see how I got K9 too?
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's see it.
Is this bad?
I'm telling you, this is just a story of just like the worst moves. Just like not the worst moves, but just like unfortunate.
I mean, that's not even like that bad though. Like, I think that's like a.
This was when I was on my
won that trade and
get Nico off my team. I don't think he's gonna be a Texan forever.
Yeah.
Rampage.
I don't mind that trade.
I don't know. I'd probably rather have your side in that trade still. I mean, just for trade options. People are really high on Nico.
We talk about running backs, so tear down.
It's
whenever you think about tearing down a running back, are you trying to get younger? Like no matter what?
I'm just trying to get a guy that's worth like nothing, but like has a really clear path to like being something. I don't know. How about you, Dan? Like, what do you?
I mean, obviously, if you're in a rebuild mindset, like ideally you'd like to get younger, but I don't think it's that critical for running backs because if you're tearing down, you're going to get some draft picks on top, so that kind of covers you from like the future department. So like if it's an older running back, but one that you think will be productive, then you can just like keep that running back into the season, see what happens. Hopefully produces for you. And if you end up contending, then great. You have a productive running back, and if not, then you send them away for a pick. So I don't think the age is that critical. I'm mostly just looking for someone that I feel good about producing this coming season.
Yeah. Hey, I'm seeing Mixon there, and honestly, like the market's like pretty high on Mixon. Maybe like. The thing is, you kind of almost need to get a guy that likes Kenneth Walker, and I got lucky with that in my Ford trade today. Like he said, he was specifically targeting Walker today. So nice. I got really lucky with that. But I think I sold him for cheap. Like,
I'm sorry, just real quick. What do you think about going from like Stevenson down to like James Conner and getting a little something on top?
If you can do that, I mean, I think that's really
I wouldn't hate that. Oh, that's cool. I can click that right there.
Here's I don't know. Like, how do you guys think about this?
Close this with.
What do you think you can get on top of that? Would a third be too much? You think it had to be like a fourth?
I would take a third. Easy all day. I mean, there's no way.
When I get in situations like this, I'm always like, what could I like do something like this? Like that's I just clicked on people, but like I start to look that and I get like overzealous with it.
Oh, I just saw. Hold on. I just saw Jermaine Burton. You said you liked T. Higgins.
Okay.
I mean,
where did he get him? I want to see. That's annoying. I can't click on.
Yeah.
I mean that could be getting like a little greedy.
No, but you can throw something in on your side, make it a 2 for 2. What if you just threw like Mayer in, dude? Honestly, I just dumped Mayer off for like a third and a fourth, like just to clear up a spot on my roster. Like
it's like I'm still getting production here, then I'm actually getting upside.
I don't know.
I don't feel like anyone wants Michael Mayer right now.
I know.
I feel like that's a stretch to try to like go from Mayer to Burton. Because just like
I don't know, someone just sent me a third and a fourth for him. So I mean Burton's like a third, so I think it's worth a shot. But like maybe you can get better, like a better.
I feel like you have a much better chance of like completing a trade if you don't like complicate it too much, unless like the two players you're adding is something that like really makes sense for that team. But like honestly, like that's one of the best things to do to get trades done is like. Look at the other person's roster and kind of like put yourself in their shoes. Like, what would they be trying to do? And trying to come up with something that's win-win.
Yeah, it's hard to like look at their like, completely like for us because we don't know the league. But in this case, honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you can like basically dump Mayer off for like anything, he's like kind of that Judy situation where you could hold on to him and like hope he's more than what we are projecting.
I'm just gonna send that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would do that. I mean. Stevenson doesn't even have a contract. Dan and I saw a really bad trade go down in one of our leagues. Like, I mean, in our opinions, when it happened, where a guy traded for Swift and gave up a lot to get a running back with no contract. And I mean, I'm just a big fan.
So
of
what if I were to challenge you and say I don't want to tear down from Walker? I just want to like cross position. Like I want to go get a wide receiver.
Okay.
Is that something that you? Or I'm just like, is that something?
Yeah, I think that's something you can do as long as it's still like a down tier. So like as long as there's a wide receiver that has less dynasty value in terms of the market than Kenneth Walker does.
Yeah.
Currently.
Like I'd aim to get just like a second, like a player, and
here you go. How about Jermaine Burton?
Dude, I was already thinking that too. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Now we're talking.
From Walker to Burton, we gotta be talking with some capital then.
I know, but honestly, man, like you'll never get a first for Kenneth Walker is what I found out.
Yeah.
And so if you can get a second, I mean that's already a part of the piece, and then you can get like a Burton.
How about Burton in a second?
Yeah, I mean you can maybe put on more. I don't know where that guy drafted him.
Because Burton is basically a second round rookie pick, so you're basically getting like 2 seconds for Kenneth Walker, which is not bad.
Yeah, I the way I'm thinking about when I'm sending Kenneth Walker out is like this regime didn't draft him. They're going to be much more pass heavy. I'm just like I got.
It's just really crazy to me that he's still ranked like RB11 on Keep Trade Cut.
Yeah,
like
I just don't feel.
It feels like no one actually thinks that.
No, honestly, all those running backs, no one cares for like Pacheco and
like this is one where I probably would throw in just
or
like
a few Fab, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly,
to like really give the impression that like you're buying a premier asset and you only have to give a second.
This might sound crazy, but I always like the Fab to be an odd number. I feel like odd numbers like are perceived as less.
Okay.
So make it like 7 or 5. I would do.
Oh, 007.
Oh, I didn't know you could put zeros.
Dude, that looks even smaller. Like you gotta get like 8 zeros in front of it.
Oh my god,
that's awesome. We're glitching.
I'm doing it. I think that's funny.
Up, but I've never seen that. But
I didn't know you could do that either. That's funny.
That's wild.
So what do you think about this, Andrew? Before
I am curious to see, like, I don't live and die by it, right? Yeah. But I do. Okay. If Burton turns into something, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, like your bet is that like Kenneth Walker is going to go down in value, which I think is pretty likely.
Which is very likely.
And I think Burton is likely to go up, even if he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. Higgins trade makes him go up.
Exactly. Literally, Higgins leaving that roster, which is like
playing well,
almost essentially guaranteed by the sounds of it.
I am going to try to squeeze more like I'm gonna do like a swap, like a third, fourth swap. Just to close the gap a little bit. I'll take away the Fab.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that.
Yeah. All right, I'm going with that.
Report back to you.
Like that's okay. What was I gonna say? Yeah, if you're like you don't even need the production anyways.
And yeah, again, it helps. Helps the cause.
Again, so this is like the whole thing where I think teams that are like rebuilding, reloading, like I don't know, maybe the rebuild is like not even a good word, but like reloading for the next year and just punting. The worst thing you can do is hold a Stevenson and Walker or whoever it is. Like if you down tier, it's another story because you can like go and sell a James Conner, like if you end up getting a guy like that, and you got stuff on top. But when you are like holding those points throughout the season and like, oh man, I gotta hold on to these running backs, then you're just hurting your own draft pick. And in the day, like even if you sell those running backs for like cheaper on Keep Trade Cut slightly, then you're actually just making your draft pick better and ultimately gaining value.
Yeah.
And so that's how I look at it. But
that's good justification.
I wouldn't mind down tiering or even just trading away Coleman or Shakir.
I've had some interest in Coleman.
I would get off of him. I mean,
I want to.
You know what I wouldn't hate? Like, could you sell Coleman for like maybe like a sneaky kind of rookie receiver that went in like the third or fourth round, plus like a second? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, just
like a Troy Franklin second, like someone like that. You mean?
I'm thinking even lower. I mean, basically, like a
Javon Baker,
like get your second back for Coleman, but then like throw in like a guy that you're kind of like higher on in the market.
What did you draft? So, let's see what. So I mean, we don't want to like completely sell them low at that point. Then if you invested 112,
oh, you're talking 112. I would say that. So Asian back. I'm assuming you took them like.
Trying to remember. Actually, I can see how the board shook out.
They probably.
Caleb,
Nix was up there.
I told you this guy's a psycho. Like he had the first three.
Okay, so you just didn't want Brooks.
So where did it go? Yeah. Yeah, this string. Like I wanted, truthfully, I wanted one of these. And I didn't work hard enough to trade down.
Yeah. Actually, I just came up with a trade idea, by the way. And you can tell me what you think about this, but this is something I'm trying to do in every league. Is like just target Anthony Richardson. And like I know you invest in Shroud, but I
know I have DMs about
really
Richardson.
Okay. Because you have two guys that are valued over Richardson.
What does he say? What did he I know he said something about like Richardson.
Okay. Oh, and does he?
Yeah. See, this is where he's trying to talk me into our Stroud Kyler deal. Looks like a robbery.
Oh, does he have Richardson too?
He does.
Ooh, okay. So that makes
now he has Kyler and AR. He has AR over Burrow. That's fair.
Oh, so darn it.
I made him an offer actually.
Okay. Oh, dude, that's exactly like kind of thing. But except I would almost, I don't even know. I maybe like throw a pick or something. And that sucks that he. Yeah, he's AR over Burrow, so that really...
So it's a hard way to...
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
I don't know if trading for Richardson would, like, accomplish much. I mean, unless like, you really think he's going to be, like, the QB1 in Dynasty and you're just trying to buy low on him. But, I mean, you're pretty set at quarterback, so I don't know if that does a ton for you.
Yeah, they give it the owner. It's that's not even gonna work. But if you can get like a second on top of just like going from I mean I would take that all day personally. And
yeah, I can see trying to do something like that in general.
Yeah. So, what else we got? So we got offers out for both running backs.
How could we down tier Coleman though? Any ideas on like a
receiver? It doesn't have to be a rookie receiver either. I mean, the thing is, I don't love Baker. I was actually just listening to something and like, it sounds like, I mean, we don't even know if Baker's gonna be on the field. Honestly, like, it's not great competition.
Like a Cowing, is it?
There's so many receivers.
Yeah, I mean, Cowing is who I was originally thinking, but like it doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like quite enough if you drafted
not even close.
Coleman at the 112. I mean, I hate to have like the sunk cost fallacy and let that play into the thinking. But yeah, if you took him at the 112, I mean, like I'd want to get a little more.
I wouldn't go that low, but like I don't know. Does that guy? He got a pretty good deal.
I don't hate Franklin. I might be in the minority.
Yeah. I mean, Franklin went low. I don't know. I'm not a big Franklin guy myself. But like, could you go to Pearsall because like you're punting a year anyways, and then like
not bad.
I would target Pearsall.
I feel like Pearsall is really viable right now because like I don't think too many people are going to be like heartbroken if they have to trade him away and.
Yeah, it's just like Coleman could be useful year one to him. And then like Coleman, and then Pearsall will be more valuable to you, given that they're probably gonna run with two. Or sorry, they're gonna run with like Ayuk and Debo likely, but next year.
So I mean, there can't be much here, right? I mean, this is.
I mean, are we talking like a third here? I mean, a second feels ambitious.
But you could do like a swap though. You could give a you get a second, and then you can give a third
like
up,
fourth,
or a fourth.
Yeah, I would try for a fourth.
You don't want anyone else's third. That's the problem. I don't know. I'm doing that. I'm just shooting that out there and seeing what the heck.
What about this? Instead of adding the fourth,
get a player.
Mayor.
Dude, I was saying, just throw Mayor in. Honestly, like
I was thinking this. Like, I'm just spitballing here, but what do you think about that? You send a third, but you would also get back like a fourth. So you would be getting a second and a fourth. You'd give a third.
But here's the thing: he wants to like aim for the 301 though. So it's like, what if this guy is just like a late second? Then you lose all the leverage anyways. So I just would rather throw Mayer in or something like, and just hope he likes him. If not, you can swap it out for Judy. You can. Like it doesn't have to be Mayer. Like you can just keep swapping players out, ask him who he likes.
Like a Quanco.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe people would like him more.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's hard.
Do you want to start with maybe you start with Mayer just because you'd rather keep like your fourth, if it's going to be the 401 or something if you end up tanking. So start with Mayer, see what happens.
See what happens.
Like I can just see a guy just like getting, Michael Mayer, I liked him coming out.
This is going to be the kind of league where like it'll just be like trade has been completed. I'm oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think
guys where we can go back and forth a lot.
Yeah, I think that would like accomplish a lot, and there's not really any. I know there's some upside with Coleman, but like, we just saw the experiment with like the highly invested receiver and a good landing spot, and I do own one Coleman. The only reason why is I like the price I got him at. So
Well,
Yeah, 'cause you got him like what, like mid-second?
205, yeah. So I just thought that was a good price
Yeah.
to actually draft him.
Yeah.
I don't know, not really a
all right,
fan of
boys.
him.
I will say I appreciate y'all deep diving
Yeah,
on this team.
Yeah.
I think just about everything you said is kind of what I was thinking. I feel even worse about it going and looking back through some of the moves, but there's a path forward. It's not a
course, yeah.
complete lost
I mean,
cause.
You got some nice foundational pieces, so I mean, there's definitely like hope for this roster. I think you just got to like make some creative trades like this,
Yeah.
like here, gain some value on top of it with like future draft capital, and you can definitely build this up.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think it's as bad as you like made it to be. You know, obviously the trades, like, you know, you got pretty
Most of them,
unlucky. It was,
yeah. If we're looking at a scoreboard, most of them have not
Yeah.
been my call.
It is
but
what it is.
I'm gonna be leaving the live stream. Gonna go have the rest of my night. If y'all are gonna keep going, I will tune in. I'm excited.
Sounds good.
Appreciate y'all.
You got pretty.
Oh yeah, thanks for submitting the team.
Time for next week.
I hope it helped.
Next
and-
week we're gonna go on one of y'all's teams.
Okay.
Because I can
Yeah.
find a few more, but we're gonna go to one of y'all's.
I got one so similar that we can go over. Like now that I think about it, and
Okay.
just a lot of like bad trading and like startup stuff, but it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I actually really saved it by making really good trades to just tear it down.
Sounds right.
But and I've kind of just been dormant since, like just
Okay.
sitting, you know. So I do have a lot that we could actually go over on that one. But
Sweet.
yeah. So
All right, boys, y'all have a good rest of your night.
yeah, man.
You as well.
Take care.
Out.
So I don't know. I think we made some like good off. I kind of like, I don't know. Having Michael Mayer and Judy, like those are the ultimate throw-ins where like someone might just like them, and
Yeah.
I literally just got a third and fourth for Mayer, and I got a second for Judy this offseason somehow.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like throwing Mayer into that trade because although he doesn't have like a ton of trade value right now, I feel like if you took Mayer out of that trade offer,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be like a horrible offer to send to someone. I mean, it would probably get
Would.
rejected, but like, is Michael Mayer just like enough to
It
like
is.
just throw in there to like kind
Yeah.
of push it over the top, and then someone can kind of talk themselves into it because they like the rest of the deal. You know, they're thinking like, "Ooh, Coleman could produce for me this year," whereas
Exactly.
like, I'm probably gonna have to like wait a year. So then it kind of incentivizes them to tell themselves a story of like, well, you know, maybe Mayer could be okay, and the Raiders are
Yeah.
gonna run 2 tight end sets, and he's
Exactly.
a good prospect, and I'm buying low on
Yeah.
him. Oh,
Bowers
yeah.
is lining up in the backfield, man. Mayer's gonna be lined up at tight end.
Right,
So
yeah, Bowers is just going to be a glorified slot receiver, so
Yeah.
Mayer's role as the inline tight end doesn't even have to change, and you know they
Yeah.
can tell us a story.
I mean, yeah, I have him in like a crazy premium like best ball Mayer, and like honestly at that point I'm just holding on to him because like he'll probably be on the field still. It's just he won't be a lineup guy. He'll be more of this like, you know, 6 tight end premium or 3 tight end
Yeah.
premium
Yeah.
best ball kind of guy. So
Oh yeah, I mean he could potentially work in something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that trade we just helped Andrew send out. I think that was like kind of a good example of like a 2-for-2 trade where it's like that's kind of like a good way to get rid of like a roster clogger, and
Yeah.
you know. I mean, we can debate about whether Michael Mayer's a roster clogger or not. To me, he kind of feels like one.
yeah, I'd say he is.
So that's kind of like a good way to get rid of him. Is that like it's a 2-for-2 trade where like the top 2 pieces you have Pearsall on one side and who was the other receiver? Oh,
Coleman.
Keon Coleman on the
Yeah.
other. And so like you know you're down tiering or Andrew is down tiering
Yeah.
in that instance. So like the other
Down.
managers need to upgrade at receiver. So it's like okay, you get this upgrade at wide receiver, but in order to do that, you got to, you know, give me essentially a second for Michael Mayer, you know, on the other side.
Exactly, you're like forcing them. I know because like it
You're
really.
forcing it on them in a way, you know.
I know. Actually, that is like I love that because like really to me, Coleman and Pearsall aren't that different, and probably a lot of people. But like obviously, you have to have Coleman ahead just because the opportunity, the
Right.
team, and then like Pearsall probably will be buried a little bit. But like
Right.
that doesn't even matter at all for Andrew's team, and there's still
Right.
upside that Pearsall just is more valuable next year. And,
Yeah.
and if it's like he doesn't even have to really do much, I mean, really, it's just like if Coleman sucks, then Pearsall automatically is more than him. I mean,
Yeah, because I mean Coleman, I'm not really expecting to like go in there and dominate. He seems more kind of
Yeah.
like a developmental kind of receiver.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting like big year 1 production.
No.
So, but if there's a perception out there that I mean, obviously Coleman, at least on paper, has the opportunity to produce.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you know what? Like, I'm not sure either of those guys are going to produce before, year 2.
Exactly.
But I kind of feel like Pearsall is more the type of receiver where if he gets the chance, whether it's through injury or an unexpected trade of like Ayuk or Debo, then all of a sudden Pearsall goes in there, he produces right away. And so, like, there's definitely a world in which, like, Pearsall outproduces Coleman. In fact, like, I either think both receivers will do nothing, or Pearsall will get lucky through like injury or trade, and he'll actually produce. So I feel like there's only upside there. Personally.
I mean, even if they both do nothing, then it's like, okay, you just got a second for Michael Mayer.
Exactly, you got rid of Michael Mayer, and that frees up a roster spot. Awesome. You can make a waiver ad. So it's like, I love that trade all the way around. Like, that's exactly the kind of moves I'm looking to do.
And he gets the roster space, which is like even an extra bonus. And it just like, I think it just looks like a fair trade because like Mayer, even though he just tanks so much, he people were still like, oh, he was my tight end one, like all like pre-draft process the other year. Maybe he gets traded. That's always like a possibility for people to tell themselves. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was some pretty good trades. We got going for Andrew there.
And like also like that's not just a move that rebuilders can do or would benefit from. I mean, those are also moves I like to do as a contender. I mean, just like tear downs in general. Like we just mentioned the trade you made, tearing down from Kenneth Walker to Jerome Ford and getting the second and third on top. And you have the best team in that league that you did it in, Grease Bowl, and yet you're still making a move like that. You're still willing to down tier because you recognize that the production is probably not going to be that much different between those two running backs. So just gain the free picks, and then, of course, you're going to be contending with this loaded roster that you have. And now you can even use those second and third as buying power in season to like buy some players that are having great seasons, but like some rebuilding teams are just trying to get rid of and turn into picks. And now you got that extra ammo. So it's just like, I love making trades like that.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and the trades that I want to do that with especially are guys like, like K9 that I just think they're on their way down.
Right.
If anything, like when it's guys that are on their way up, and like I am pretty convinced of that or whatever, or they're elite, then I'm a little less, I don't know, maybe not like elite, but like they're in the bucket below like the top 2 round starter picks, so they still have upside. Or, I don't know, it's you get really specific with it, but
yeah, I mean, like in that league you have Breece Hall, and it's like I feel like that wouldn't make quite as much sense because if you down tier from Breece Hall, now you're possibly like compromising your chances to win.
Not only that,
someone wants to like overpay and give you like a ton on top.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but like if I down tier Breece Hall, who am I down tiering to? I own Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
There's not a single running back in this entire NFL that I think is like a good down tier because every single one of them has a red flag. Or
what if how about this? Let's say you didn't already own CMC in that league.
Yeah.
Could you down tier from Breece Hall to CMC? Because then you're getting like just as much production from CMC, maybe even more. I think Breece Hall will have a monster season, so I mean it could go either way there.
Yeah.
But you're able to down tier because CMC's older and has less dynasty value. So, I mean, do you think that's something you could pull off? And if you could, is that something you would do if you didn't already own CMC?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, like I do have Breece Hall in our league, so like that's also a possibility. But actually, I own him in a couple more leagues. But you and I have him, but we don't need him. We don't need CMC. Sorry.
That would make sense.
That wouldn't make sense at all.
We're co-managing, because we're like kind of in a rebuild at the moment.
So I own Tyreek Hill and I own CMC in 2 leagues, in that league, and I actually own that combo in 2 different leagues. The only shares of those players I have, funny enough, and like they're both comboed in the same team, which I feel like is fitting because like, they're just absolute war dominators and can kind of burn out with each other if you don't move off of them, whatever you want. Like, I don't know. That's probably not going to happen. I'll probably move off of them by that time. But CMC, like one thing I realized about CMC and Tyreek Hill is like they have no actual, there's no keep trade cut can't tell you what their value. Like, either one guy in your league wants them or no one wants them. Like, it's seriously, there's maybe 1 or 2 trade partners, and then it's also the person you're competing against if I were to move off those guys.
Right, and then it's like, do you want to hand that to your competitor?
Yeah, and then we're talking about, like, Breece Hall, like, down tiering to CMC. Well, it's like, okay, if I'm doing that, I mean, I'm clearly trying to compete. They're probably trying to compete. If they own CMC, maybe you get lucky. And like I just don't know why they would. I mean, yeah, why would they throw extra in to go to like a running back? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. So like, technically,
it would probably be like it would probably be hard to pull off just because of like it sounds good on paper, but I don't know how many managers would actually fall for that.
Yeah, because it's like you're down tiering to CMC. Like, who the heck is gonna like give up? Like, especially off a running back. Like, who's gonna give up more unless they really like Brees or Bijan? Like, wouldn't they just sell CMC like themselves?
I mean, I think there are some managers that like just like really value youth and they like want to get off like the running back before they like hit the cliff or their value tanks. So it's like. I mean, yeah. What would a trade look like from like? Let's say there's a manager that's interested in doing that. He wants to like get young running back while still contending. Like, what would you need on top of CMC to trade away Brees Hall? Would you only need like a second or something like that for you to make that trade and get
honestly
CMC a second?
See, like we made this trade, but like instead of CMC, his name was Olave, and. Honestly, to like do, I guess there were 201 that was involved in that. I got the 212 kicked back. Like that was kind of the only way that we made that specific trade. It's just like I just wasn't that desperate for Brees Hall, and I really liked Olave. So
yeah,
I probably would need at least like a 1-2 turn rookie draft pick or something projected like that next year, or valued like that next year. To make that
so you're saying like a projected like late first or early second.
Yeah, like guaranteed late. Maybe they would throw that off or like guaranteed early second. Like that'd be something that'd be interesting because then you could still get maybe that production for. We don't even know. Who knows for CMC? The guy's an alien.
I don't know if you saw, but like I think the 49ers just re-signed or signed CMC to a contract extension for like another, was it like a couple years or something?
Yeah, and another 2, and you know what? Honestly, like until I look actually into the numbers, I mean, it's CMC, so it's like probably not like that Jacobs contract or anything, but like sometimes it's like a little deceiving. I doubt CMC's is like I'm sure they just love him and like want to pay him some money there. So I mean, I don't even know anything really about that contract. I'm sure they have like an out probably in that final year for guaranteed money. I don't know. That just makes sense to me. But it's pretty, hey, hopefully CMC is going to play for like another 3 years. That would be awesome if you're going to trade for him. Him and Tyreek Hill, like, there's just, I don't know. There's just like not an actual trade value for those. So you got to get pretty much really lucky and have someone trying to trade those players, like trade for them.
Right.
If you own them. And then trying to get CMC is like the opposite. Whoever owns CMC is like holding him like he's like. I actually did try to trade for CMC. I hate doing it, but I did have a roster that was perfect for it. And the guy's just like, yeah, it's not happening. And I gave up like what I thought was more than enough. So
yeah, like in NFL Madness last season, that's the 16-team league that we're in, one quarterback, and I like. The guy put like CMC on the trade block. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I don't know, some point during the season. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should, look into this. Like that'd be, a nice guy to kind of maybe like take my roster over the top. And like the trade offer he sent me that he the package of guys he wanted back for CMC was just like the most insane thing I'd ever seen. I mean, it was like he wanted like 3 studs and then like 2 good players. It was just like, oh my lord, like I was not expecting that. So I was like, yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's like it's a different story. If you had CMC and you were just like tearing it down, it would be so much easier to get rid of him. Because I mean, you can get really creative. Like there's so many players become options, but like if you're really competing to get CMC like literally the number 1 pick in redraft off your roster, I mean, you need something that's producing back, but then it probably has like decent dynasty value. Or like hopefully really good dynasty value, and then what you're getting on top of that, I mean, I just don't even know. Like it's depends on the manager. You need him to like be desperate for CMC. So
but there could kind of be like a wide range of like what kind of offers you'd get if you were negotiating with a CMC manager. It could really vary, and also I think a big difference too is like whether that's in the off season or during the season.
Yeah.
During the season, I feel like realistically, his trade value is gonna be so much higher when he's like scoring like those ridiculous points every week. He's gonna be so much easier to trade if you own him and you're trying to get off of him or down tier. Yeah. And conversely, if you're trying to trade for him at that point, like good luck with that. I mean, like, I experienced what that was like with the story I just told you about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I actually did send out what I thought was a really like decent offer. I was trying to get like 2 first round, but like somewhat like one maybe like projected late or mid next year. Like I thought it was kind of mid next year, and then getting like again like a 8 or 9 this year or something. So it was like, okay, I get like a player that's not going to produce this year, but then I'm just getting 2 valuable picks that I can just do whatever the heck I want with and are probably more valuable than CMC. I thought it was going to go through, but the guy surprisingly didn't want him because if I told you who, you would think he would pay up like 5 first for CMC.
Okay, interesting.
Browntown.
But yeah, if you're a contender and you're thinking about like trading for CMC, I mean, would now be the time to do it while it's the off season and he's not scoring points and he's just like a old running back? And
you probably missed your window because he got that contract extension.
Yeah, the contract extension. Yeah.
In some leagues, you get these guys when they get their extension, they're throwing the money bags on their player, and they're just letting people know. Yeah. Like, hey, this guy got paid, just in case you didn't see.
Yeah.
His value just went up, and I mean,
right.
Like, who cares? But,
because even if they don't care that much, they just kind of feel like, oh, well, now there's this expectation that he went up in value, and I need to get moved now. So yeah, you probably missed your window, but you never know.
It is not how that really works, but to the owner, it'll be harder to get him off the owner probably.
Yeah. Because they'll just feel like on principle, oh, well, I need an extra second now because he just signed this contract extension or whatever, and it's just like, come on.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what you got for time here. Like, did you almost want to skim over this roster I got? I think it's a little bit of an interesting roster.
Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, let's do it.
And, we were already doing some talking about rosters. This is just such an interesting one because it's so similar to... Where is it? So similar to the league. I mean, geez, I even have some of the same players. At least in Burrow...
give us the format of this league.
So, literally the exact same as Baseball.
Oh, gotcha.
So just 0.5 premium.
For viewers out there, that would be a 12-team Superflex PPR start 10, right?
Yeah, and then just 0.5 premium.
So 1.5 PPR for tight ends.
Yeah. So this is a really interesting roster. So man, I almost gotta just like show you what we were rocking week 1 because nothing will is there a way to do this quickly? I can't remember.
Wait, what are you looking to do?
I'm trying to maybe like pull up the draft board or something because I got to show you this team when I drafted it. Like it,
okay.
It's not even the same thing.
Right.
It's
can you go to draft results under the gear at the top?
Yeah, it's just gonna show the rookie draft, which I mean I'll hold that up, but. I'm just gonna do the thing that Andrew did.
Doesn't it show like all the drafts that have been done?
No, it's a bug on
desktop.
Yeah. So this is a particularly this is why I just don't like drafts without rookie picks, like startups, before the NFL draft too. I mean, it's just like a nightmare. Just real quickly, I'm going to. Yeah, what the heck here. I think I got the link. But yeah, I almost drafted Laporta. I think I told you this. I almost drafted Laporta and Mingo on the 17-18 turn, and instead I took A.T. Perry, and then both came off before my next pick. And I mean, it was just so early before the NFL draft, or at least in my mind it was. We didn't even know. Laporta was projected 4th round or something. Whatever. No one even had him on the radar really. So it was.
You're saying 4th round in the real NFL draft?
Yeah, no one even had him on the Dynasty mocks. No one even had him drafted at that point, really. If not, maybe the late 4th. But I just got the startup pulled up. We'll go over it very quickly to show you basically what my team looked like. And I made the exact same mistake as Andrew, if you want to call it mistake. I went Allen at 2. I mean, Lawrence to me was the QB. He should have been going at 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah, I mean, to see Fields went before him, so yeah, I'm glad you dodged that bullet.
Look at this. I think I remember ended up getting Lawrence. I gave up my first. That's the only time I've done that. Only time I literally will ever do that again, unless I'm getting the best deal in the world in a startup. And then, I start trading back from these picks, and they were involved in the trade. I'm like, I'm all in. We get Cooper Kupp. Don't want to talk about Jerry Jeudy. I think this is the only league I ended up holding them in. Like, I did draft him, I think, in another one, but I luckily traded him. Look at the value on Goff. Ayuk, great value. Like,
oh yeah, great value on Goff. So this was like a year ago, basically, like last offseason, the startup.
Yeah, I made an awesome trade in the preseason, or like whatever, not preseason, but just like on the off season. I got I think I got Deontay Johnson and like Hawkinson basically for like Goff, and I threw like something else in. I don't remember what it was, but
okay, so you don't have Goff anymore.
No, and then like obviously like Goff is like worth like Hawkinson anyways now, so it's if not more, so it looked like a sick trade, but because I was just locking up. Yeah, I was just like locking up the quarterback room. I mean, geez, like we took Waller. Luckily, I got rid of every Madison share I had, and I drafted him in like damn near every league last year. So there was just like a gut feeling there. And,
oh my God, you took Sean Tucker before Mike Evans. That so crazy now.
Yeah, so this is like never do a rookie draft, never do a startup before the rookie draft, before the NFL draft.
Yeah.
And without having kickers. Like Sean Tucker was a projected like 1-2 turn rookie pick, and like projected like third round. And the craziest part is like look at a chain here. I kid you not. I was on here and I didn't like I knew enough about both these guys, and I'm like, Chain, like he's pretty small. Tucker just seems more prototypical.
Yeah.
And they were both around the same like projected value, so I was like, I'll just go Tucker.
Yeah.
Like what a turn in events, like just what a stupid.
That really screwed you. That's unfortunate. So
I know, and this is like at least like whatever. I get lucky with Evans, and look here though, I get lucky with Jaden Reed.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I just want to like show this turn where
look where you got Zamir White.
Oh yeah, I did.
Round, wow.
Oh yeah, I mean I was drafting a ton of White. Okay, wait.
Oh, look at Ty Chandler.
Oh yeah, dude. Chandler and White were like my guys. I mean, I pretty much came out of every draft with Chandler in 24th, 25th.
Nice.
Where is this thing, man? Okay, there's Ferg. I had none of him. I swear there's like, it was right around this A.T. Perry.
Yeah. Oh man, did Jalen Warren go after A.T. Perry? Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's wild. It's so funny looking at things back like a year ago, how much it changes.
Let's see here. Okay, wait. Here's Mingo. There's Dell. I wouldn't even know who Tank Dell really was at that point in my. Yeah. Where did I'm just looking for Laporta. Like, I know he went off in this range here because I was trying to like trade up. Look at Kyron right there too. Jeez. See if you can find Laporta on this.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, the orange right next to.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually did pick Zamir White before him, which like I just thought Zamir was such a good value, and I mean.
Yeah, and he was. You were right.
And he was. Yeah, I mean, I had Laporte on my board.
Okay.
Apparently, I got my memory a little wrong because I took Foreman over him too for some reason. But whatever. When I took this pick, I think there was a guy that just kept picking every rookie. Basically, that was his strategy, and he was picking in this range. So I was like, oh no, and he ended up taking some players here, and anyways, that was my draft. Enough of that. My starting lineup was like sick because I ended up getting like Hawkinson, Deontay Johnson, a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp, Christian Watson, Cam Akers were all like toast for the first 6 weeks or like ever, and I just had the worst variance possible. I mean, I literally played the top scorer every week until I just blew up my team, and I'm just not the kind of guy to go like, okay, I'm gonna fight for the 6th place spot. And then, like, have half my roster die the next year. Like, I'm just not going to do that. So, I took advantage of, like, Mike Evans. Let's see, like, how I got, like, a couple of these guys here. I think this was a good trade here. Like, I traded Ayuk. I threw in Terry McLaurin to get to Garrett Wilson. And, I had to throw in, like, some, stupid third. But, I just wanted to consolidate. Like, I knew Garrett Wilson would be, more valuable than Aaron Rodgers after the injury. Yeah. And I just don't really care for Terry McLaurin on this roster, although this is kind of like what RB was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this still holds up. Like, I'd do that in a heartbeat, just to get, like, you know, one of the most valuable players on my roster.
Yeah. I mean, so wait, you made that trade, like, last offseason?
Yeah, this was a terrible trade. No, that's right. I made that trade during the season.
Oh, during the season. Okay. Ayuk was having a good year. Wilson, not so much because of the Rodgers injury.
Rodgers. So it was just like buying low and selling high. It was
an opportunity to upgrade receiver. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and then this was a terrible. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking during this trade. Like, I just truly don't know. It was like, oh, I can get Joe Burrow low, but like I had all the leverage, so I should have got more for like.
Oh God! Yeah,
I should have just got more. Just terrible trade.
Because, I mean, Burrow doesn't seem like that huge of an upgrade over Lawrence. I mean, it's definitely an upgrade, but then to, only essentially get a second for Flowers.
Yeah, for context, like, I knew I could get Burrow because, like, this is what's even worse about it. He just got hurt. And I also made this same trade a few days later in Grease Bowl, but, like, I did it properly, and I got all the leverage in it. Yeah. It's just like, this guy was like, I don't really care. And then I was like...
Okay, see, that's the problem is you really weren't getting, like, a discount on Burrow. Like, that's that trade you should have been able to do, like, before the Burrow injury. So it feels like you got no discount there.
You know, exactly. And I was like, like, let me get, really upgrade in Burrow. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Right.
Like, when you buy the dip on a player, you have to make sure that you're actually getting the discount. You're not just buying him and paying the same price.
Yeah, honestly, when you're playing Dynasty, you kind of need to make these trades to be like, to learn from them and be like, man, I really like, and then I learned from it even after I made the trade, and then I went and I killed that trade in Grease Bowl.
Right, exactly.
And got all the leverage. Made sure I got the leverage on that.
I mean, it's okay to make mistakes, but obviously, like, learn from them and, like, be a better Dynasty player after. So I mean, we've all made bad trades.
Exactly. Here, I felt like I was at least getting some leverage here. So, like, I was going off Allen, which is massive, but then, like, I down tiered back to, like, I don't even know. I traded so I got Lawrence back, but then I also got Tank Dell. I got Dalton Kincaid, and then I just I just chucked in David Montgomery because, like, he's more valuable right now than he ever will be. So,
I don't hate that. I mean, you're getting, like, a couple nice assets in Dell and Kincaid. Yeah. And you're giving away a running back. So, I don't hate that trade.
So, and then this is a league where I was betting against a guy literally on fringe playoffs, and I'll do this bet all day. His team was, like, nothing special, but he had Christian McCaffrey. That was the only thing special about his team.
Right.
He won the league, and, like, he shouldn't have even, like, made the playoffs. And I ended up getting the 112 for Tank Dell. I just made it 1-for-1. And then Tank Dell got hurt, like, the next week, funny enough.
Yeah.
Or, like, 2 weeks later. And then I'm like, yes, like, I'm getting a 106 or something. No, I just couldn't catch a break, but...
That's frustrating, but I could see making that move because, like, you were gambling that was going to be a high pick, and you had good reason to believe it was, and, you just got unlucky. So
I specifically remember trying to get some leverage on top, and he wouldn't do it, and I was like, I'll just do the 1-for-1. Like, screw it. Let me try to get, like...
Yeah, I can see that.
Anyways, there's a bunch of guys I've like, completely moved off my roster. Like, I moved off Cup for, like, Judy in a first, and then I got the second for Judy, like, somehow, some way. So...
Okay.
That was my roster. I literally have 4 firsts next year.
Oh, wow.
Probably like a mid and a couple late plus mine. So, like, if I had to guess. And then 3 seconds, 2 thirds. We got some just stashes on our bench. Michael Mayer I can throw in a trade. We won't even really go over trade now, but just to show you, like, I got Jalen Wright, a couple guys. We actually got Sam Darnold there. And, I mean, maybe we'll just look at the rookie draft for now and then just kind of leave it at that. But maybe you'll have an idea of something that we could look at for this roster just in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I'd be happy to give some suggestions.
Just give me 1 second here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so I basically this is like my rare time where I trade up, but this is actually my buddy here, Strongest Avengers, and he made this like blockbuster trade, got a bunch of draft picks high, and he just didn't really want to pick Daniels for some reason, and he kind of had like a lot of picks here. I own picks 9, 10, 11, 12, and like 204. So I don't know if we can find it. Basically, I sent him like 3 firsts for Daniels, but they're all late, and then I got like a third back. So it's like I got Daniels for like picks. I mean, maybe we can even see. I don't know if he traded them. Oh yeah, I gave him 9 and 10 because I didn't care the difference between 11 and 12, so it just looked more valuable.
Okay.
I gave him 2-4 as well, but then I also got like a third back and maybe something else. So it's like, I just.
Okay, so you gave him like 2 late firsts and an early second.
Yeah, so like I got right back instead of Benson basically, or like Penix.
That you see, like that's there's not. I don't see like a huge difference between those guys.
Yeah.
Like I actually did something similar in our D-Gens league. Like I had a pick. Actually, I think I had like 2 picks like in the late second. I want to say.
Yeah.
And I could have taken like Blake Corum and Jalen Wright with those 2 picks. And I like both those running backs. Like, don't get me wrong. But the way I was looking at it is like you can kind of like throw Trey Benson in that too. They're all kind of like high upside backup running backs, on their NFL teams. And so it's like, you know what? Like, is there that huge of difference between like them and like kind of that group of like, Kamani Vidal and like Will Shipley, Ray Davis, Tyrone Tracy?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? If I can get one of those like running backs I just mentioned that are going like in the 3rd or 4th and get like a future second on top.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
That's a deal I'm going to make. And so that's what I did with both those like late seconds. And I feel good about that. So I can see the same logic of saying like, you know what, like, is there that much difference between like Benson and Wright? So I love that.
Yeah. So like, I might have got something else on top, just like complete throw-in. But yeah, I was just like, 9 and 10 looks more valuable. 11 and 12, I just really don't care. Like I'll kind of let them, whoever in front of me, decide what I get.
And I think it worked out great because you ended up getting McConkey and Brooks, both of whom I love. So
exactly.
I think that worked out great for you.
Funny enough, like this just was the league where I just for some reason was like, yeah, I'll probably just end up taking Brooks in this one. It seems like the right league to just, even though I'm not like that competitive, I can be. And it just seems like, I don't know, the league where I'll at least take on this Brooks share.
Because like with him coming off the ACL, you don't know exactly like how productive he's going to be and what that's going to look like. So like if he doesn't produce a ton in year 1, it's like no big deal. And he's only 20 years old. So yeah, I think that was a perfect pick for where your team is at.
Yeah, so exactly. And then, basically, I in my mind, I sent the 9 and the 10, and then, I just made a little bit different of a running back kind of swap. Or,
right.
Maybe I would have, who knows what I would have took there.
I think that was a solid trade. I like that.
It's also 4-point passing touchdown, so I knew I didn't want to
Penix. Even better then, yeah. I mean, then you value a guy like Daniels
more. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I was like, these are the leagues where I have Daniels in. It's 4-point passing touchdown.
Oh, love that. It's
the
perfect.
2 leagues I own them. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, then we come away with, these 4 rookies. I had a ton of picks, but I don't know. I ended up, getting some extra thirds and like stuff like for next year and some seconds, basically, by trading out and not really.
I love doing that. Getting taking advantage of the rookie fever and trading back or trading out, getting some future picks, and usually win those trades on value.
Yeah, exactly, and I felt pretty good about it. So like now I'm actually looking at this roster. Like I completely tore it down.
Yeah.
And I mean I this is like my failure roster where just nothing went right, but somehow I think it's like probably one of the more valuable teams in the league, like maybe top 3 if you were to look at like a power ranking.
Right.
And it's like I mean I have like double elite QB. I actually have like a trade out. Maybe it'll show. Shoot.
Let me guess. You're trying to trade Burrow and get like a Kyler Murray or Anthony Richardson or someone like that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Anthony Richardson. I'm trying to get like anything on top and 4-point passing touchdown. I think it was Zach Moss. I was gonna try to get Zach Moss on top, and I'm like, number one, I just think Anthony Richardson will outscore Burrow in this format.
Yeah, I mean, it could essentially be like you're essentially tearing up, but you're getting something on top. So.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just like. I own a bunch of Burrow, and I just wanted to run Anthony Richardson too. So it's like,
and this was the perfect league to do it. I mean, 4-point passing touchdown. I'm definitely trying to go from Burrow to Anthony Richardson.
Exactly. It's just I'm just gonna keep trying to push that trade through. I think the guy's got a co-manager, so it's making things more difficult. But You know,
So have you tried that yet? And what happened?
I don't know. I'd have to look at it again. He was
Okay.
thinking about it. And this guy's
Yeah.
been pretty good to deal with, but he takes a long time to like think about,
Yeah.
you know. So I just have to like keep checking in with him.
Mhm.
But honestly, like receiver, you know, we kind of got like a 1-2, like I don't know, like, and then we got a little bit of hope and a guy like Watson.
Yeah.
Tight ends, you know, we got Kincaid. So I don't know, like there's some stars on this team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like those bottom two flex spots look iffy
Yeah.
with Dulcich and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look at your bench again. Like,
Yeah. So I mean, trade potential. We got Darnold.
Yeah,
We also have
Darnold, yeah.
Handcuff and Browning.
Yeah.
And then we have Wright, who.
Yeah.
So, maybe
Okay, you got
some
Rasheen Ali.
backup potential here. Like maybe someone ever like.
Yeah, I like seeing Rasheen Ali, and Miles Sanders isn't a bad stash if he gets cut. Maybe ends up on like the Cowboys or Colts.
Yeah, and then like we just got some tight ends here, and then nothing really on the. But
yeah, I mean, you probably have like some guys you could cut. I mean, you want to take a look at the waiver wire and see if like there's anyone good you could pick up.
yeah, I just went and picked up Xavier Gibson and Trey Sermon.
Oh, I like the Sermon pickup. What
Yeah.
were you thinking with Gibson? Did you like what you saw like last year at all, or what were you thinking with him?
I had a bunch of Gibson. I was like trying to get him and Brownlee on all my teams, but like
Okay.
Gibson's just like a slot guy, and like Corley's there. But honestly, I read a tweet that was like Aaron Rodgers like 50-yard bomb to like Xavier Gibson. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm picking him up again. That's all I needed
You're
to
falling
hear.
for it. You're falling
Yeah,
for it.
that's all I needed to hear.
God.
I think he was playing against an actual defense that time, so they weren't
Okay.
just playing against the invisible defense on that play. So
Yeah. All right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I don't have any Corley too, so I might as well just get like, I might as well get one of those Jets, slot receivers. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd
Oh.
probably need a Corley injury, but I guess you never know. Oh, Melton, I'd grab him.
so yeah, I mean, I need to go to this
You could drop,
taxi squad.
You could drop like Hayden Hurst or Sean Tucker or Bajent.
Yeah, I'm actually just keeping Hurst in these leagues because like, I mean, he could just go out there and be the number one tight end, and
Yeah,
he might be worth
that.
a fourth or something,
Yeah, I could see that.
And then
Bajent, I feel like there's some talk. That like Bajent isn't like 100% the backup. I mean, he probably is the favorite,
who's
but
the other
like,
guy?
if there was someone you liked on the wire, like I don't mind dropping Bajent.
Who's the other guy there?
They picked up Brett Rippon, and then I think they have some other like, random guy. But like, I could see like a veteran making more sense as the backup. I mean,
Rippon was like Rippon was ass. Like, Rippon's like he's probably one of the worst quarterbacks. And I'm willing to bet on Bajent in that case.
Okay, maybe not Rippon, but like they could pick up someone else. I mean, I'm not sure like what quarterbacks are available right now, but maybe someone gets cut or they may not be done adding to the quarterback room.
Yeah, I mean, there's one guy that I'd be willing to like take the other backup quarterback over. It's probably Brett Rippon and like Sean Mannion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't know. There's some things I just cut Tillman off this roster because just get him off my team. I'd almost be interested in just like, to me, what stands out here is like actually it's not Jason McClellan. It's just not these guys. It's actually Jerick McKinnon. Just anyone that I could like get fab or something for like in season or like a fourth. Where it's just like I just don't think like any of these guys are gonna be worth like anything. Maybe this Bailey
maybe
guy.
like Craig Reynolds if you think he's still like the Lions RB3. Here, why don't you go to can you click on trend at the top?
Yeah. What was it here?
Let's see who's trending. Okay, Chase Claypool's available. We were kind of talking about him earlier.
This would almost be the roster I would take Chase Claypool on.
Yeah.
Where it's just hope for something. I don't know. I mean, sure, I'll just throw one in for him first of all.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you have an empty space on your roster? You didn't have to like make it conditional.
Yeah, no, I have an empty space, but
okay, yeah, go back to the trend list. Yeah, I mean Jordan Whittington, I like.
He could be.
It seems like he's getting a little buzz right now. They're saying he's like learning fast. Oh, Isaiah Davis. Yeah, Davis. Get him. Breece Hall's a little banged up, and they're saying that like Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen are both getting like first team reps. So
okay.
I would pick up Isaiah Davis for sure.
Yeah, let's see here. I honestly like. I like actually keeping Davis. No, I actually like Davis Mills. Honestly, I do because
it's a good situation, but like he wasn't even the backup last year. Is my issue. I mean, maybe.
Hold on. Here's the thing. He actually was the backup. He actually
Okay.
was the backup. Okay, Case Keenum was like he was like in there, but then like I think like I don't know if it was like Mills got hurt. I don't know. Whenever I looked back into it, Mills
Yeah.
was the backup, and
Okay.
like Mills has been like half decent for like Superflex fantasy, and now he's
Right.
got like the best receiver room in like NFL.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Okay.
like, why wouldn't I just like take Davis Mills? Like he's actually like. I mean, he
Yeah.
can throw a Hail Mary to backup tight ends. And
Yeah,
be,
I mean, I
be a
guess you could make
legend.
the I guess you could make the same argument about Bajan, is that he's got like the nice trio of wide receivers, but I'd personally just like roll the dice on like a Whittington over Bajan personally. But I mean, I guess it's up to you.
I don't know. I personally would rather the backup quarterback because
What about Trask? I mean, we've like never even seen him play. Like Baker doesn't get hurt that much, really.
I mean Trask, he's not a guy I really care about. But
Yeah, and what about Clifford? We don't even know if he's the backup this year. They drafted the quarterback, whatever his name was.
We can just drop him or swap him out.
Yeah.
But the thing is just like I know you like taking the shots there too, but if you can get a backup quarterback and that's the thing too. If I drop a backup quarterback, we can pick them up again always, but you just never know. We're like,
Sure.
I mean,
Kenny Pickett's
I feel
available.
like almost Kenny Pickett, as much as I hate him, would need to be picked up to this team over shot like Clifford. I mean, I'm just
I would take Pickett over Clifford for sure.
That's pretty easy. But
yeah,
going back to
the trend was. Yeah, Whittington and Davis. I would personally add both those guys for sure.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez, I've been wanting to get off like a couple rosters where it's like more shallow, but I don't know. Honestly, if someone gets hurt, like he just
I could
gets a role.
I could see keeping Rodriguez.
Yeah. So I want to keep Mills personally. Trask, I don't know. Anytime we've seen a backup like actually do something, I'm a little like anything. I'm a little more intrigued to keep them, just because that they might be able to provide some upside. But
yeah, I mean, did you own Easton Stick last year when he in this league when he was playing?
No, I just scooped him as soon as he was cut. Same with Browning. I think.
I see. Okay.
They're all cut, and I just picked them up immediately. But I'd be willing to just drop Trask. I mean, I think one of the only reasons I picked him up, I think you were picking him up in some leagues that we were together.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
We don't know if he's good or not.
He's a backup quarterback, so
he's
like
literally
roster room.
He's like literally Easton Stick. Like we just never saw him play, and then
he'll
probably just be in our Easton Stick. But
and then are there any,
Oh, sorry.
Are there any other interesting guys? I think I saw Crawl.
I mean, for me, probably just Davis.
Yeah, I think probably the last one.
I do have Dulcich, so maybe Kroll makes sense on this, but
I see. Oh yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to handcuff him. Yeah.
The thing is,
I would cut A.T. Perry in a heartbeat.
I just feel like if I actually take the time to try to get some fab for him, I could definitely get some fab for him.
Definitely, really.
People just like A.T. Perry. There's just one guy in every league that likes A.T. Perry.
I mean,
he just goes. He just goes in the 17th round of startups for some reason, every time.
17th round, these days.
It's 17th or 18th. I can't even pull up the. Yeah, this one I know. Wait, hold on. Let's just look it up.
Okay, I mean, because I owned him in one league. I took over an orphan and he was on it, and I mean, I couldn't give him away. I ended up cutting him. And one person put in a claim for him, and it was a $0 claim. Yeah. So I think that tells you exactly what he's worth, 0.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is
I mean, it varies by league. I mean, if you think you can get a few bucks, then do it. But I would also ask the question of why haven't you gotten it yet? You know what I mean?
I just never asked.
You haven't sent it out.
No,
okay.
I wasn't.
I mean, go for it then. Otherwise, he's just gonna rot on your roster and just clog a spot.
Here went round 20, but round 20, there's at least actual foremen and stuff, guys that you could make. Maybe I could just turn Perry into foreman. That's why I just don't want to cut him.
I mean, send out that offer right now while you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I know it's like Tillman. I just don't care about him, but I think someone actually might care about. Perry.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. I might already have an offer out because I was just sending.
Oh, because you were sending different offers.
Yeah, so it's Raider Hero, who we know. All right.
Did you already send a foreman offer?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Honestly, though, I know he likes his vets, Raider Hero, so this is probably not gonna work.
So it might be tough to get Foreman off of him.
Maybe I can just like chuck. Honestly, at this point, I just chuck Miles Sanders in for clear roster spot, as much of he potential stash he might be, and then maybe he
wait. No, add some fab.
Yeah, I'm just chucking. I'm just chucking at him.
I want to add $1 just to make, because see, as it looks now, it looks like, oh, Foreman's just all alone on one side, so he's the best, asset in the deal. Just like emphasizes that, and then people don't want to accept. They think you're getting a couple of crap pieces for something worthwhile.
You know what? This is like a more of like I don't know. I know Raider Hero. I feel like he'd like the 2-for-1. Like he's like
Okay.
like if he doesn't know about Foreman, or any news about Chubb, he'll probably just be like, oh yeah, like Miles Sanders and A.T. Perry, sure. Like I don't know if he likes those guys at all. I think he'll just click it. But if he doesn't like them at all, I don't think there's a chance. Like that, anyways. Like he'll be like, why am I giving up? Foreman and one fab. I don't know, but yeah, if it's like a different manager, of course, I'll chuck the fab strategy in.
Yeah.
But when you kind of know a manager, I don't know. I'm a little less intrigued on.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you know something specific about that manager where you feel like, oh no, this would work better, then obviously do that.
Yeah, I think he likes like more of the volume and the older players more, which is why I just chuck Sanders in. Like, he might just like Sanders. So, So I can try to grind on Foreman or Ford.
So were you able to put in claims for both Isaiah Davis and Whittington, or where are you at with that?
Let's see here. I think I need to put in Isaiah Davis. I'll just put a bid in for now, then I'll figure this out later tonight.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I'll probably just take out Claypool or something. I'd rather have.
I just reordered or something. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I almost want to throw up like trying to put a claim in for Claypool, but it is what it is. Also, hey, one thing real quick here. I actually just think we should get Kendrick Bourne back in this league here. Just no one's picked him up.
He's on waivers?
We'd have to drop someone, but like honestly, it's kind of this Playzen thing where it's like even if we can't really get anything for Bourne, like he should be worth minimum like some like decent fab or like fourth if he's just on the field. And like I mean he was actually good. We're like I don't know. I mean the bet is that like one of these guys kind of just becomes as valuable as Foreman damn near. Like
well, I mean, what you could do is because, like, we currently have, like, a claimant for Waller just on, like, the off chance that he announces that he's still going to play. What you could do is once Waller announces that he's officially retired, then at that point we just drop Waller for Bourne, and then I doubt anyone's going to pick him up in, like, the next week.
Here's the thing, though. If we drop our lowest roster person, no one's going to pick him up, like, guaranteed. Like, there's just no one's going to pick him up.
Okay.
I mean, these guys are literally rostered like in like none of my leagues. Like kind of like Whittington would have to be like I'm thinking
the odd man out.
Yeah, I mean just like we're just going by roster percentage. Like
if you want
to. I don't know. It doesn't say it's real. It's extremely low. It's 17%. So I mean,
I just want to say for the record, I am a Whittington supporter. So I'm letting you do your thing. This is a co-managed league, but like I didn't invest any money into this. I'm just helping you for fun. It's your money on the line, so by all means go for it. But I just don't want to confuse the viewers out there. Yeah. I am in favor of adding Jordan Whittington off of waivers.
Yeah, I mean I think it's. I don't know when you have a guy that's actually going to be on the field versus a guy that's probably like not even guaranteed to ever sniff a snap. I mean, if we get more information, then. Maybe everyone's running to stash Jordan Whittington, or whatever, whoever the receiver is, Flournoy and all those guys. But it's Jason McClellan. But
I'll make my case for the viewers out there on Jordan Whittington. He was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school, suffered some injuries in college, but still looked pretty good out there when he was healthy. I mean, if you pull up like his highlights on YouTube, definitely looks pretty explosive for a guy that was taken in the 6th round of the NFL draft.
Yeah.
We know the Rams tend to draft pretty well. Obviously, you don't expect them to find another Puka Nacua, but I mean, they did just do that last year. You never know. Like maybe lightning strike twice. Or I mean, you don't even have to beat Puka Nacua if he's even like 50% of Puka. Then you just like found something decent off of waivers. And I mean, that wide receiver room with the Rams is kind of wide open after Puka Nacua at this point. I mean, Cooper Kupp's old and kind of injury prone. Demarcus Robinson is old, even though I like him. And then, I mean, Tutu Atwell, I still kind of believe in him, but he has kind of been a bust to this point. So like, through injury or just like performance, I mean, there's a chance that like Whittington could be like the number 2 or 3 receiver on the Rams at some point in the near future or beyond. So I just think he's kind of an interesting guy. Also, I was watching this YouTube video on Whittington from this guy who basically what he was saying is that even before the NFL draft, he envisioned Jordan Whittington as a Los Angeles Ram. Okay. He just thought that would be like the perfect team for him to go to. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. And so I think that's kind of like an underrated thing to look at in Dynasty is like team fit, So if he's a guy that like just fits the Rams well, kind of like Puka did, it's kind of interesting. So that's kind of my thoughts. That's my sales pitch on Jordan Whittington.
So what is he? Is he like an X?
Off the waiver, so you're not paying anything.
Is he like an X or something, or like what is he? Flanker or slot or?
I'm not really sure. I don't think he's a slot receiver, but I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
He kind of seems like a versatile guy, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I honestly the only the reason why is like we might know who to actually cut more clear down the road. Or it's just like I just want Kendrick Bourne on this roster because I just think he's gonna be he's at least gonna be something. He's gonna be on the field. He's gonna have a chance to produce something. Maybe even to a roster which we're like we don't even know what the heck's gonna go on here. We're just gonna see where the wind blows us. I mean, what if Kendrick Bourne is like putting up 12 points per game? With some spikes.
But see, the thing I would argue is that like Whittington, what is he on the trend list? He's like number 4. So like people are going to see that and it's like some people just like, oh, I don't even know who this guy is, but he's like trending up and he's a Ram and, they hit on Puka. So maybe I'll just add him. Whereas like Kendrick Bourne is like on no one's, mind right now or no one's radar. So I feel like you could, I feel like no one's going to pick up Bourne at this point. You could just like leave him on waivers and like pick him up before the start of the season. Whereas, like, if Whittington keeps getting hype and keeps showing up at the top of Sleeper, eventually someone's just going to grab him, just, like, take a flyer on him. So that would be my argument is that, like, you might not get Whittington back, whereas, like, I doubt anyone's going to take Kendrick Bourne.
I don't know. I think someone will take – it's only a matter of time, I think, till someone takes Bourne. Like, maybe they just are dormant and, like, didn't know he's on – like, haven't checked the wire. Because, like, there really hasn't been any ads. Like,
I mean, I could see it, like, maybe, like, in – preseason or like week 1 of the regular season where like he's actually out there playing and like scoring fantasy points or whatever, and then like he is maybe I'll pick him up now, but like until then he's just like an old receiver coming off a torn ACL and it's a new Patriots regime and they drafted a couple of rookies pretty early and I just don't think anyone cares about him. But I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, it's your money on the line. So
I honestly, I just like care about Bourne still after the like people just don't care after like them drafting basically Javon Baker because like Polk can kind of move around and do whatever. But I mean, honestly, like who's gonna be the X there? Like Javon Baker, from everything I've been seeing, it just doesn't sound like he's ready to just be playing on the field and taking over Bourne. And like Bourne is like he was born to be a star. He was out there. Yeah. He was. I don't know. I just think you might end up being the highest scoring receiver there potentially if Polk isn't a guy. I mean, I actually like Kendrick Bourne as a player. I mean, he was on that list, that we talked about, weeks ago or so, months ago, where it was like, Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, Noah Brown. This was like before the NFL draft, so obviously like. Most of those guys' stock went down. At least like Noah Brown because they signed Stephon Diggs, and then certainly Kendrick Bourne as well. I guess Demarcus Robinson is basically unchanged because they just took like Whittington in the 6th round. But I like all those players. But the only problem with Kendrick Bourne is that his best opportunity to get like to be the starter and like to get snaps is going to be like early in the season before like the rookies really establish themselves. And that's the point where Bourne is going to be as like least healthy because he's going to be like coming off the ACL and not quite 100%. So I feel like Bourne could be better later in the season, but like the rookies will have already emerged by then. So that's kind of the issue with him now. But I get it if you prefer him. I mean, it's just quite literally like the thing is like we could just cut him if he's like just out there being trashed. I mean, that's the thing too. Like I the ceiling technically isn't higher, but it feels much more likely that you can get something for him, or like any kind of production out of him to like
Yeah, I mean, I
give us
guess
an
like
option.
yeah, I mean, a dream scenario would be you get like a third for him if he like starts producing, but
Which
like
you could last year. I mean, I saw that in
really,
2 leagues. Yeah. Actually, I had
wow.
Prep H sold him for a third, and someone else sold him for a third. I think in the league I was in.
Yeah, but
Um,
he is a year older now, and they did bring in the rookies, so I feel like
I mean,
realistically, you'd be
yeah.
like hoping to get a fourth. And it's just such a low ceiling to like spend a roster spot on. I could see it more if you just thought like, okay, he's not going to have any dynasty value, but he's going to produce. And so I guess if we were more established as a contender, it would make sense. But I mean, we're still not ruling out contending this year if we make some trades and everything. So.
Yeah.
I guess I can understand it from that perspective, but I think it's hard to make the case that you're going to get like you're picking him up for dynasty value. I mean, it's going to be hard for his value to go up much.
Yeah,
and it's already like growing this league. I mean,
Yeah.
no one wants him on the wire for weeks, and no one has cared. So